Welcome back to Developing You, where it's all about real questions, real answers and real solutions. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to this channel because there's going to be lots of information to come and I'm answering your questions. Also, some of the questions may seem the same to start with, but when we look at the questions in a little more detail, they're actually going to bring more out. They're going to be more specific. So you could find that some of the questions look initially like the same question, but when you listen to them, you're going to see that there's a different answer. Because wherever somebody is on their journey, I'm going to answer where they're at. So it may mean that I focus a little more for some questions and I'm a little bit more broad for others. So just be aware of that. And let's have a little look at the question we've got today. Now, this question says, how can I plan my days to maximise my productivity? I have an enormous, never-ending to-do list, a never-ending to-do list. That doesn't sound too good. And I just feel permanently overwhelmed. Okay, so this question, you can see already by what the person's saying that they have, it feels huge to them, absolutely massive, this concept of a to-do list. Now remember, in other videos I've talked about that there isn't a problem with a to-do list at all, but it's really how you approach it. So firstly, never ending. It's true that in our life our growth is never ending. It's always continuous and it's expanding day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. That's how expansion and growth works. But when you then say to yourself that I've got to create these huge lists that are never ending, it feels completely overwhelming. And why would you continue? Why would you make huge lists and then set yourself up to fail because you've overwhelmed yourself? That seems a little bit crazy. Now, I went back to this person because I wanted a little more clarity about what they were saying. And I asked this question. What does a productive day look like or feel like? Okay, and their response to me was, excuse the language, one where I get a shitload done and I feel really good about it. Okay, so they're saying again they want to get a load done. It's all about the quantity of something. A load done and feel really good about it. Now it's still vague, so when you ask a question, you can go deeper and deeper and deeper and find out what the real thing is underneath that people are saying. But if we have a little look at this question in a more general way, then I can give you something that you can practice. Now I say practice because I practice every single day. And what that means is I spend time with myself every single morning and I make sure that I'm ready, that I am grounded, centered and balanced in myself that day. And I'm ready for whatever is going to come in my day, whatever challenges I have in front of me and whatever things and tasks that I need to do that day. And it's so important that I do this because I'm at the centre of my life and you're at the centre of yours. So it's important that we put our well-being first daily, not just once in a while when we become exhausted and we're on holiday or we're at the very bottom of the list most of the time. It's important that we put ourselves first. And the other thing is this, that some people like to brainstorm. They feel when they've got lots of things to do, or they believe they need to get that out on paper. I'm one of those people, I like to get it out on paper. But then I have to put that piece of paper aside. Otherwise, I get overwhelmed with how much it looks like I have to do. It doesn't mean I have to do everything on there, but what happens is because I'm thinking about it all the time, it can overwhelm me and stop me taking action, okay, and getting anything done. So then I can become unproductive because I'm overwhelmed by this big picture of everything. Equally so, if I'm somebody that writes a to-do list and I write lots and lots of things on that to-do list, I usually go for the first one being the priority, okay, and then I work all the way down. But sometimes we put ourselves right at the bottom of the list. So this person who asked me this question really believed she needed to meditate daily. But what she did was she put that at the bottom of the list, her well-being. So she was never getting to that point where she was looking after herself. Now in the Gifted State Foundation course, which I've created for you, there is a method, there is a framework, there is a daily practice. There is also a lesson that looks at the intention for the month. Okay, so what I would suggest to this person, if they're using the framework, is that what I give them to do now, they use within their intention for the month. They practice it for a month and see what habit they can form, what positive habit they can form. But it's important that you practice for long enough that it becomes a habit. Okay, it needs to become a mental habit and also a physical habit. So let's go back to this question again. How do I maximise my productivity? You know, when I feel I have an enormous to-do list and just feel permanently overwhelmed. Remember, she wants to get a load done, yeah, and feel good about it. Okay, so let's say that she has, the first thing she may want to do is this. Get up in the morning, okay, and have a very simple practice. All right, not necessarily the practice that I've got, because that she might not be ready for that yet. So let's say she needs to practice every single day. It's a bit like brushing your teeth, putting yourself at the centre of your well-being. So let's say she takes 10 minutes every morning. She gets up in the morning, she gets herself into a position where she feels comfortable, and she then puts herself at the centre of her life. Now, she could use a visualization to do this. You imagine yourself sitting at the centre of your life and then life around you like that. You may want to draw it out on a piece of paper and look at it. You may just want to sit quietly and say to yourself, I am the centre of my life. My well-being comes first. Okay? And just giving yourself 10 minutes a day is your commitment to your well-being first, before you create a to-do list and put yourself at the end of it. Okay? And the other thing is just to consider that life is an expansion process. Okay? We don't have to achieve huge things on one day, because we're constantly achieving expansion. If we put ourselves first at the centre, if we practice daily, if we're aware of our growth and the things we wish to learn, and we keep expanding steadily, that day is a productive day. The day where you sit down and you take care of yourself first before you do anything else is a productive day. And then when you've done that, get a piece of paper and only write 5 things on there that are your priority. Choose the first one and then pack everything away. Put everything away and don't think about the big picture. Think only about that task. See it as a project, something fun to do. Do that task, and when it's complete, then you can relax again and look at the next task. That would be my suggestion for you. I hope that's been helpful. If you have any further questions relating to this or any other question around planning, organising, looking at visioning, anything at all, just get back to me, put a question in the comments, and I'll do my very best to answer it for you. So thank you for today. Remember, if you'd like to subscribe, please do that. There's much more to come. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. Bye-bye for now.